So today I was thinking we would work our way to a few balance poses. Dancer pose, eagle pose, and we'll do tree. We'll go from tree into dancer pose, and then we'll do eagle. And we'll do some extended side angle poses, and possibly we'll add the bind and into bird of paradise. We'll see. So we'll start off with a little bit of breathing. We're going to start off on our backs. Some breathing and a bit of core work. And as you know, building that core strength protects the back and it helps with some of the yoga poses. So start on your back. And just have the feet on the ground, knees bent. Try and keep the length in the neck, so you want to tuck the chin a little bit, bring the back of the head down onto the ground. If you find that your chin is pointing directly towards the ceiling, you might want to put something underneath your head. Try and get that length in the neck. Place the right hand on the belly, left hand somewhere on the chest, on the ribs, and start bringing focus to the breath, taking longer and deeper breaths, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. And as you inhale, you can feel the belly and the chest rise. And as you exhale, you feel in the chest, the belly sink. Long, slow, deep breaths. You can hear the sound of the breath, sound of the air flowing through the throat as you breathe. So we're going to start taking a pause at the top of the inhale. So breathe in as much as you can. Hold the breath for a second or two. And then exhale. Breathe in. Hold. And then exhale. 3 or 4 more times. So let's take a full body stretch. Extend the legs. Extend the arms over the head. Reach with the arms and the legs, trying to pull the hips away from the feet, back away from the hips, trying to add a little bit of traction. Add a little bit of a side stretch, stretching out one side of the body. And then the other side. And then recenter. Pull the feet in towards you. And what we're going to start off, we'll start off with windshield wipes. So take the feet a little bit wider than hips. And we're just going to take the knees from side to side. And you don't have to go too fast. I think the slower the better, really. And you want to try and move with the breath. Inhale as the knees come up, exhale as the knees go down. And this is going to strengthen the core. It's going to work the back, get a little bit more mobility there. It's a nice gentle exercise. And it's a good way to warm the hips up. So if you have any tightness in the hips, this is a good one. and then we bring the knees back to center, and then we just pull the knees in. We lightly touch the ground with the toes, and then the knees come back. We do this quite often, and you're going to feel that if you bring your fingers or your hands onto your belly, you can feel those muscles working, especially when you lower the feet to the ground and bring them back up. You want to try and keep the back nice and low. Try not to hollow the back too much. And if you have any back issues, this is a good one to continue. Be more careful as we straighten the legs and we go a little bit more challenging. Straighten one leg, keep it low, and as you straighten that leg, the other leg, keep bending the opposite knee. So we're trying to synchronize the movement of the legs. Again, we're keeping the back nice and low, and this time you're working the core all the time. Keeping the back low, you're breathing. Add the arms as one knee comes in, opposite arm goes over the head. We do this quite often. This is a real routine I like to do. You don't have to touch the ground with the fingers, with the hands as they come over the head. If it's too much for the shoulders, don't take them all the way down. If it starts to bring the back off the ground, don't go quite as low with the arms. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and bring the feet down to the ground. So we need to work the obliques a little bit. We did that a little bit with the easy windshield wipes. The more challenging windshield wipes, we bring the legs up to the ceiling, 90 degrees between the legs and the torso. Arms at about 45 degrees. We take the legs over to one side, about halfway down, back up, and then over to the other side. The arms really help pushing the arms into the ground so you go down slow, and to help you bring the legs back up. Go far enough so it's a little bit of a challenge, but not so far that it's too difficult. And as I bring the legs low, I'm really pushing that arm into the ground, and then I bring the legs back up. Another good one for the obliques is side crunches. Now when you do the side crunch, you really want to get into a twist. You don't want to just pull the elbow to the knee without adding the twist. So you've got to really try and twist as you do the side crunch. So we're going to start bringing one elbow to the opposite knee, and then we switch. Make sure you're trying to get that twist in. So you're trying to keep the elbows out. So you're not pulling the elbows in. You're trying to keep the elbows out as you pull it to the knee, if that makes sense. This is a tough one. If it's too tough, you just revert to pulling the knees in towards the chest. Do something easy. Or you could do those little windshield wipers again like we started with. Now this one, you can go a little bit faster, I find. And you can get into a rhythm, and you can do quite a few of these. And core work, good to do often. You get more benefit if you can get into the habit, if you have the time. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Another full body stretch. Just stretching out those muscles we just worked. Breathe. And then walk the feet in, pull the knees in, and just rock yourself up into a seated position. Core work is good, I think. Extend the right arm forward. Arm is parallel to the ground, shoulder retracted back. You're going to pull that arm towards you, you're going to pull it above the elbow. Find an easy stretch, gentle stretch. Inhale, get tall. Exhale, start pulling the arm in a little closer. Going deeper into the stretch on the exhale. Try not to fight the body. Try and work with the body. Feeling the stretch, there should be no pain. Remember, if anything starts to hurt, you need to modify, you need to back off, you need to stop. We switch. Other arm extended forward, shoulder back, and you've got to pull above the elbow to feel anything. You find an easy stretch, you inhale, get tall. Exhale, you start pulling in a little closer. Try and relax that arm, that upper arm and the back. If you try too hard, sometimes the body just fights against you, it tenses up and you can't get as deep into the stretch, so just work with your body. Release. Extend the arms to the side, both palms still parallel to the ground, palms facing down. Lines of energy through the arms. Check that the hands are nicely lined up with the arms. Sometimes people dangle the hands like this or up like that. You want that nice line. We bring the right arm under the left arm, eagle arms. You bring the back of the hands facing each other or the fingers of one hand into the other hand. See if you can touch the nose with the thumb. And then start bringing the arms up. Getting tall, getting the back neutral, that natural curve of the lower back, and breathe. Nice stretch across the upper back between the shoulder blades. We release. We extend the arms to the side again. We bring the left arm under the right arm, back of the hands facing each other, or fingers into the palm of the other hand. We touch the nose with the thumb maybe. You can keep the arms down if you prefer, or you can bring them up. We're just trying to stretch out the back here, so it doesn't matter really where the arms are. There's no right or wrong in yoga. Well, the wrong is if you're feeling pain, I think, but this, what I mean is, if you're in a position and you bring the arms down or up, neither is wrong. And we release. Little bit of a side stretch. So place the right hand over to the side, in line with the hips, good distance from you. Inhale, and remember we get length on the inhale, and we go into the stretch on the exhale. And we're looking up towards the ceiling. Inhale, we come out, reaching up with the other arm as much as you can, and exhale into the stretch. And a few breaths here. And then we come up. So a lot of people get a lot of tightness in the lower back, sort of these areas and these muscles. And a good way to stretch out is when we do child's pose, we're walking the arms to one side then the other side, and then thread the needle. So we'll go into that. Let's go into child's pose. Toes touching, knees apart. Extended child's pose, extending the arms forward. Make sure the head is supported on a cushion or a block or the floor. We lift the head up and we're starting to try and walk those hands a little bit further forward. And we bring the head back down, and then we walk the arms over to one side. So I'm walking the arms over to the left. Now if your forehead is off the ground, you can make a fist with the left hand and rest your forehead on the fist if that's more comfortable. But you want to make sure the forehead's supported. Then you get a lower back stretch and a side stretch on this one. And then we walk over to the other side. And then back to center. Then you come onto the hands and knees. Okay, before thread the needle, let's do a little bit of core stabilization. So on our hands and knees, and we do cat-cow, inhaling belly down, exhaling as you round the back. And then we're going to hold cow, belly down, head up. And you're going to try and glue the hands to the mat so the hands are fixed in position, but you're trying to pull them towards the knees as much as you can. And you're going to feel that core working again. You're breathing, you're not holding the breath. And we come back into a neutral back. We bring up the right arm, thumb facing up, hand is higher than the shoulders, and we start bringing the whole body forward. If it bothers the wrist of that lower hand, make it into a fist. So as you lunge forward, you've got to engage that core, you're going to feel that. Keep that lunge as you bring the opposite leg up, optional. And we're still trying to lunge forward, you're breathing. And then we switch. Just the arm, opposite arm, raise it, lunge forward, and as I say, lower hand can be made into a fist. Keep it raised, opposite leg, still moving forward as much as you can, and then back on our hands and knees. Thread the needle, we take the right arm behind the left arm, resting on the arm and the side of the face. So you've got to reach with that lower arm towards the side of the room. You're pushing the other hand into the ground, elbow towards the ceiling. So 90 degrees at that arm, at that elbow. Again, this is stretching out the lower back. Similar to that child's pose where we walk the arms out, but we're adding a little bit of a twist on this one. I feel it more in the lower back on this one. The stretch doesn't hurt. And then we switch back on your hands and knees and then thread the needle on the other side. And then we're going to come into Sphinx. So the elbows are under the shoulders. Forearms are parallel. We're going to make fists with the hands. So when we do the flow, you know, I take you into knees, chin, chest to ground, cobra or up dog. If that bothers the shoulders or the back, you can always just hang out in Sphinx like this. It's a little bit easier on the body. But what we're going to do now, we're coming into a forearm plank, so I'm tucking the toes and I'm lifting those hips up into neutral, so you don't want them too low, you don't want them too high, try and get neutral. You're pushing the forearms, especially the elbows, into the ground, try not to sink between the shoulder blades. For those that want a little bit more challenge, walk the feet closer to each other and bring one leg up. For those that want less challenge, you can bring the knees down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch legs. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Walk the knees underneath the hips. Keep the elbows under the shoulders, no wider than shoulders, palms together. Tuck the toes into dolphin. Again, we're pushing the forearms, elbows into the ground, but we're also trying to push the mat away from us so we get more of a straight line from the elbows through the shoulders to the hips. Head should be off the ground. If the head is touching the ground, probably the elbows are too wide apart. Breathe. We bring the knees down. We bring the hands under the shoulders. In fact, I'm bringing them a couple of inches slightly forward of the shoulders. Tuck the toes downward facing dog. Now in down dog, quite often a yoga instructor will say get the heels towards the ground, which is good, but only if you can get the back neutral. So if you can't get the back neutral, bend the knees. If you can get the back neutral and keep it neutral, you can start bringing the heels down to the ground. If you've got the legs further away, so walk them the feet further away from the hands, it's more challenging to get the heels down. If the feet are in a little bit closer, it's easier to get the heels down. So just find the down dog that's good for you. You want to make sure there's a straight line from the hands through the shoulders to the hips. Now the good thing about walking the feet back is you can get more length at the wrist, so there's less stress on the wrist, I think. But it's more difficult to get the heels down with the back neutral. Look forward, walk forward between the hands. Inhale halfway up. Exhale as you fold forward, relaxing the head. Bend the knees into chair and then come all the way up. Inhale, chair. Exhale, folding forward and down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, we plant the hands. We come into plank. Knees down. Elbows in. Chin, chest forward and down. Inhaling into cobra. Or up dog or sphinx. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg up. Exhale, we try and bring the right knee towards the right elbow, keeping that knee off the ground. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to left elbow. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee towards the chin. Inhale, extend. Top foot joins the bottom foot. Inhale the other leg up. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, extend. Exhale, opposite elbow. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to chin. Inhale, extend. Top foot joins the bottom foot. We look forward, walk forward between the hands. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, folding forward, relaxing the head. Knees bent, we're back in chair. And then we come all the way up. Inhale, chair. Exhale, fold forward and down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, we plant the hands, plank. Chaturanga, or knees, chin, chest to ground. Cobra or up dog or sphinx. Downward facing dog. Bring the feet a little bit closer to each other and just start walking the dog. And this is going to stretch out the back of the legs, maybe the calf muscle, maybe the hamstrings, maybe a bit of each. But we're just nice slow walk. And then we look forward, walk forward between the hands. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, folding forward, knees bent. We're back in chair, and then we come all the way up. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, fold forward and down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, we plant the hands, plank. Chaturanga. If you're going into chaturanga, keep those elbows in. Bend the elbows. Whole body forward. Drop to 90 at the elbows. Upward facing dog, looking up. Down dog. And as you come into up dog and back into down dog, you're engaging that core. Inhale the right leg up. Let's open the hips. Stack the hips. Bending that top knee. You're trying to get the hips facing the side of the room. Hands both solidly into the ground. Open the hips up a little bit more if you can. And then top foot joins the bottom foot. Other leg comes up. We stack the hips. So you're trying to get one hip stacked over the opposite hip. Top foot joins the bottom foot. We look forward, walk forward between the hands. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, folding forward. Knees bent. We're back in chair. And then we come all the way up. So I think I'll face you for a little while, just for a change of scenery. There we go. So we're going to go into the warrior poses and maybe extended side angle. We'll see. Come to the front of the mat. Tadasana, mountain pose. Have the palms facing forward, open the chest. Inhale, bringing the arms up. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, we plant the hands. We walk into plank. We engage the core as we go into chaturanga. Inhaling into up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale the right leg up. Exhale, we sweep that foot through. We come into warrior one. I like to line the heels up in warrior one. I like to add a bit of a back bend. You don't have to. You breathe. Warrior two. You can flow. If you're doing a practice by yourself, you can just flow one breath for each pose. But I like to hold it so we can focus on the alignment. Knee, never lunging over. Try and keep it nice and centered. Work that leg. Reverse warrior. And then we flow to the other side. Plank, chaturanga, up dog, you know all this stuff. Downward facing dog. But we forget sometimes. Inhale the other leg up, your left leg. Sweep that foot through, readjust the back foot. Warrior one, the other side, hold it for a little bit. And then warrior two. And you go a little bit wider. Sometimes I like to walk that front foot further forward and go a little deeper into the pose. Make sure you're not sticking your butt out or your hips forward. Try and get that neutrality. Plank, chaturanga, up dog, downward facing dog. Couple of breaths in down dog. We look forward, walk forward between the hands. Inhale halfway up. Exhale folding forward. This time bend the knees so we're back in chair. And then we come all the way up. Inhale into chair pose. Exhale, fold forward and down. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, we plant the hands. We're back into plank. Chaturanga. Inhaling into up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale the right leg up. Exhale, we sweep that foot through. We're in warrior one. Breath or two. And on your next exhale, warrior two. So we're going to go into extended side angle. We'll do reverse warrior. And then we bring that forearm to the front knee, which is bent. And we bring that other arm over the head, straight line from that top hand, all the way through to that back foot. And you're looking up towards the ceiling. If you want to go a little bit deeper into the pose, you can start sliding that lower hand towards the ground or a block. Trying to keep the chest, the torso open towards the side of the room that you're facing. We come back up into warrior two, reverse warrior, and then into plank, chaturanga, up dog, down dog. Inhale the left leg up. Exhale, we sweep that foot through. We're in warrior one on the other side. And then we go into warrior two. Reverse warrior. And then into extended side angle. So the hand is lined up with the arm, and then you're trying to line up all the way through that side body to that back foot. And you try maybe bringing that hand a little bit lower, getting a little bit deeper into the pose. We come back up, warrior two, reverse warrior, and then into plank. Chaturanga, elbows in, upward facing dog, looking up, downward facing dog, couple of breaths. And then we look forward, walk forward between the hands. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, folding forward, bend the knees. Chair, stay in chair pose. So let's add a twist. So you're going to twist to your right side. So you bring the outer of the left arm to the outer of that right leg, if you can, into that twist. Get a good twist here. Another thing you can add here, you can split the arms, bringing the lower arm down, the upper arm up, getting a little bit of leverage with that lower arm into the leg. Palms together, back into chair, and then we twist in the other direction. And then split the arms, palms together, back into chair, and then we come all the way up into mountain and interlace the fingers, open that chest, breathe. So it's this kind of action. Back is neutral. I'm pulling the shoulders down, shoulder blades together, and lifting the arms up a little bit. And we can do a forward bend at the same time if we want. So bend the knees, resting the belly on the legs. Head is totally relaxed. Maybe take the feet a little bit apart, a little bit more stable that way. And then you bring in the arms a little bit higher. Be kind to the shoulders on this one. Soften the shoulders. Relax a little bit. Let go of the stretch totally, so it's a little bit less stretch, and then we can start going deeper again. And then soften, and then maybe you can go a little deeper. It might be that you're stuck with the arms really low. That's okay. You know, a lot of people are like that, so don't worry. Back to a standing position, just shake the arms out, the shoulders, loosen up a little bit. Okay. Oh, it's raining and it's sun shining. So, should be a rainbow out there, but I can't see it. Okay, so a couple of standing poses. Let's start off with tree. I'll do the mirror image. So you're going to be on the right leg, and you're going to bring that left foot inside the leg, below or above the knee. Remember, don't push into the knee joint. We bring the palms together. Feel those muscles of the standing leg working. Gaze at something not moving. Bring the arms up if you haven't already. Arms can be parallel, or you can bring the fingers together. It's up to you. You can hang out in tree, or if you want dancer pose, you take hold of that top foot, and as you push the foot into the hand, you're reaching the other arm forward and you're hinging at the hips. Go slow. Try and keep the legs close together. Don't let that top leg splay out, otherwise you're going to lose your balance or find the balance is more challenging. Sometimes you lose the balance anyway, like I just did. If you lose the balance, just try again. Go into it slow. Try and breathe. Try not to hold the breath. So you're pushing that foot into that hand, backhand as much as you're reaching forward. You're breathing. And then you come out of the pose. It's a challenging pose, dancer pose. Tree on the other side. You're on the left foot. Other foot is inside the leg. Skin on skin is nice because you get more friction. We're trying to open those hips. We bring the palms together. We engage the muscles of the standing leg. We soften the shoulders as we bring the arms up. We breathe. And as I say, you can just hang out here, If balance is a challenge, you can just lean against some furniture or a wall. It's up to you. Do whatever you need to do. We're all different. And for those that want to go into dancer pose, we hold on to the foot. So if this leg comes out like this, balance is more challenging. So try and keep the legs close to each other, and then you bring the foot back and you reach forward. Go slow. Find something to gaze at, something not moving. Keep that extended front arm raised. And then we come out of the pose. Okay, eagle. There's hips openers, shoulder openers. It's an all-rounder. Extend the arms to the side, palms face down. Bring the right arm under the left arm. We've already done eagle arms, so the shoulder should be nice and open. We come into chair. We bring the right leg on top. We squeeze those legs together, and perhaps if we have the flexibility and the knees okay with it, we can hook the foot. You then center the arms, you sit lower, you lean back, you bring the arms up and you breathe. And we release. And we shake everything out. Move those shoulders. Other side. Extend the arms to the side. Bring the left arm under the right arm. Come into chair. Bring the left leg on top. Squeeze those legs together. And then maybe hook the foot. Sometimes it's easier one attempt than another attempt. This time I could get into that foot hooked, but it doesn't always happen. We then lift the arms up, we sit lower, we lean back slightly and breathe. And we release, and we shake everything out. Okay. I did say maybe we would do Bird of Paradise, so why not? I think it wasn't too long ago that we did this, but this is a good one. Yeah, maybe I'll still face you. I'll still face you guys. So we start off front of the mat, and we're going to flow into it. Inhale into chair. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, we plant the hands. We walk into plank. Chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. Inhale the right leg up. Exhale, we sweep that foot through. We're in Warrior One. We go into Warrior Two. We do Reverse Warrior. And then we do extended side angle pose. Some of you are just going to hang out here. If you find when you go into the bind that your chest is facing the floor, my suggestion is you just hang out like this, just regular extended side angle. If you want to try Bird of Paradise, you slide that lower hand inside the leg and you try and find the bind. So my arm is centered on the upper thigh, not under the crux. The crutch, rather. We pull the hands together, then we reopen up. You need to reopen first. Then you hop that back foot forward. Might be a couple of hops. And then you try and balance on that foot. Still in the bind. Take your time, and then we try and extend that top leg. You might not get it totally straight, but we're trying to get it straighter and straighter. You're getting taller, you're keeping the bind, and then we bring the foot down. We come out the way we came in, so you're holding onto the bind till you've got that one foot back. and then back into extended side angle. Some of you were holding this. Warrior two, reverse warrior. We flow to the other side into plank, chaturanga, up dog, look up, down dog. Couple of breaths, recenter. We bring the left leg up, we sweep that foot through, we're in warrior one, we exhale to warrior two, inhale reverse warrior, exhale into extended side angle. If you don't want to do the Bird of Paradise, you could hang out here, you could do Trikonasana, just just do your own thing for a little bit. If you want to try the bind, you're sliding that front arm down, keeping it centered on the thigh. So my torso is facing the floor as I bind, and then I open up again. You need to open up. Then you hop that back foot forward, a couple of hops probably. You try and balance on that foot you just brought forward. Still keeping that bind, and then you try and extend the leg. That's a challenge. If you've got tight hamstrings, this is challenging. Probably should have done a few more hamstring stretches, but never mind, next time. And we come out the way we came in, and we're back into extended side angle. Warrior two, reverse warrior, and then into plank, chaturanga, up dog, down dog, and then I think we deserve child's pose, so just hang out and relax. Come onto your hands and knees. Downward facing dog. Look forward, walk forward between the hands. Inhale halfway up. Exhale folding forward, knees bent. We're back in chair, and then we come all the way up. I think what we'll do next, I haven't got a lot of time, but let's work our way to pigeon, and then we'll just wind down. Inhale into chair pose. Exhale, folding forward and down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, we plant the hands. We walk into plank. Engage the core a lot. Turn those elbows in. Inner elbows facing forward as you bend the elbows. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg up. Exhale, come into pigeon. You're bringing that knee forward. Knee can be more centered if it's too much of a stretch in the groin. Tuck the toes, start walking that foot back, keep those hips nice and even to the ground. So as I'm walking that back foot forward, I'm getting lower. If that's not for you, if you've got a big gap underneath that hip, your right hip for you probably, if your right knee's forward, you can slide something underneath there. But keep those hips nice and even. Raised pigeon. We're getting more of a backward bend. Extended pigeon. More of a forward bend. And we're going to hang out in extended pigeon and just relax. If your knee or any part of your body doesn't like this pose, you could try reclined pigeon. Do that. You're on your back. Similar pose, but you're on your back. Figure four. This is one of those poses I like to hold for a while. You can just sink into it. You're not having to work. Gravity's doing all the work for you. and gradually getting more and more stretch in that hip. You can hang out in extended pigeon. If you want to add a quad stretch, come into raised pigeon and reach for that back foot. Left foot with left hand or right foot with right hand, and you're pulling that foot in towards you. Then we can hold on to the foot with the other hand and open up. Now this time I'm pushing the foot into the hand, so I'm adding a little bit of a twist. Now we can get into a deeper twist, just like we did in chair. So we're going to bring the left arm onto that outer front leg, and then bring the palms together. And you can get into a good twist like this. Balance is a bit tricky sometimes. Do what you can. And then we unwind back into raised pigeon. Tuck the toes of the back foot, down dog, walk the dog. We bring up the other leg, your left leg. Pigeon. Come into it slowly, keep the knee happy. Keep the hips equidistant to the ground, maybe tuck the toes of the back foot, walk that foot back, then you can get a little deeper perhaps. Open up, a little bit more of a backward stretch, and you're going to feel the front of that back leg opening up more as you look up and you bring the shoulders back. And then extended pigeon, and just hang out here. Another thing in pigeon, you want the top of that back foot on the mat ideally, and the foot nicely lined up with the leg. So you can just glance behind you, make sure that foot's nicely lined up, so you're not stressing the foot or the ankle. Nice hip stretch. And then for those that want more of a quad stretch, or to add a quad stretch, you reach for the back foot and you pull the foot in towards you. Now I try and hold on to the inside of the foot. I pull it in, and then I can bring my hand onto the top of the foot and I can get a little bit more leverage. If you bring your hand onto the outside of the foot, it's a little bit more difficult to pull the foot in closer. And you might not get the foot in very close. It's, you know, as I say, we're all different here. All have different flexibility and strength, openness. Then we hold onto the foot with the other hand. Again, I'm holding onto the inside of the foot, but this time I'm pushing that foot into the hand, really pushing the foot into the hand, and then opening up to the side. And then if you want to add a deeper twist, you're bringing that right arm onto that front leg and palms together. Try and keep your balance. And then we unwind. We tuck the toes of the back foot, down dog, walk the dog. And then bring the knees down and come onto your back. So we're just going to come onto our back, and you can, if you want, you can have a block handy. Maybe I'll pull the block in. Pull the knees in close, rock from side to side, giving the lower back a bit of a massage. Pull the knees in Take hold of the feet, coming into happy baby. Keep lengthening the back of the neck. Trying to get the tailbone towards the ground. Hold on to the big toes, palms facing each other. First two fingers and the thumb around the big toe, and we see if we can stretch out the legs into a V, pulling the shoulders down away from the ears. If the knees are bent, no worries, but eventually we want to try and straighten the legs. At the same time, you're bringing the tailbone closer to the ground. I'm trying to hollow the lower back a little bit. Tailbone is down. I'm trying to get a little gap underneath the lower back. Might not happen. I'm pulling the shoulders down. I'm trying to straighten those legs. And you're getting a nice stretch down the inside of the legs. Probably. Maybe the hamstrings. But for me, it's the inside of the legs, those adductors. We then bring the feet down. On an inhale, we're coming up into bridge. We interlace the hands underneath and we walk the shoulders, arms closer. No pressure on the neck. We take the block half height, slide it underneath and rest on the block. Sacrum is on the block. And we bring the arms either side and close the eyes and totally relax. If you don't have a block, you can just come into Shavasana. If you have a block, you can walk the feet in closer, come onto the toes and put the block higher if you want, or you can keep the block at the same half height and bring the legs up to the ceiling, getting a mini inversion. If it's a soft block, keep hold of it. If it's a firm block, you don't have to hang on to it. Raising the legs, getting that blood flowing down from the legs. And then we bring the feet down. Stay on the toes, lift the hips up, put the block to one side. Come into Baddha Konasana, Supta Baddha Konasana. We're bringing the soles of the feet together. I like to rest my hands on the legs, on the thighs, encouraging the knees down, the legs down, closer to the ground. Some people like to bring the hands on the belly or on the floor. So just find your, whatever you choose, your preference. You want to focus a little bit on the hips. And you want to persuade that area to relax and soften. If there's any discomfort there, a couple of things, you could have two blocks, one under each leg, or you could just come out of the pose if it's too much on the hips. But I'm gently encouraging those legs a little closer, not forcing the legs down with the hands, but just gentle encouragement. And then Shavasana. Well, let's take a full body stretch first. Legs extended, arms over the head, full body stretch. A little bit of a side stretch again if you want, getting into that banana shape on one side for a breath or two. And then the other side. And recenter, and then Shavasana, getting length in the neck, Arms either side, palms face up. Hands up helps to open the chest a little bit more than if the palms are down. So you're externally rotating the arms. Just totally relax, letting the whole body get heavy. Just feel that you're sinking into the earth, becoming one with the earth. Keeping attention on the breath. Trying not to be distracted. If you want to go stay in Shavasana longer, that's fine. If you're ready to come out, you can walk the feet in and just roll over to one side. Typically, the recommendation is over to the right side. Just hang out here with the eyes closed for a breath or two. And then gently push yourself into a seated position. Inhale as you bring the arms up. Exhale as they come down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, bringing the hands to the forehead. Namaste.